You're leaving money on the table if you're just chasing cold leads with generic follow-ups. Because there's actually a way to auto-generate custom outreach emails using AI, but with a human in the loop to approve, tweak, or reject every single one before it's sent. This workflow doesn't just write emails. It learns from feedback, revises itself, and makes it personalized for your client. I built one for a real estate agent, and I'm gonna show you how to do that in this video. The first step, the doorbell, which is an Airtable trigger node. Add that by going to the plus sign, type in Airtable, click Airtable, and then click the triggers, and this is the one we used. We're now gonna go to my Airtable, and this is just some sample leads that I created with AI. And whenever there's a new lead that is entered in here, it's gonna be like, hey, let's start this trigger. All right, so let's go ahead and open the node, our Airtable trigger node. So if you wanna learn how to connect your credentials and do all that, I'm gonna link a document in the description below so you can check that out, and I'll walk you step by step on how to do that. Poll times, set it to every minute, but you can do every hour, day, week, whatever. For your base ID and your table ID, and I'll show you how to get these, you're gonna go to your Airtable. For your base, always gonna be the code that starts with APPL. This is the one you're gonna want. Go ahead and copy that and paste that right here. For the table, it's gonna start with TBL. Just go ahead and copy that right there, paste it right here. And that's it. Rename it if you want to. Next up, we have our AI agent. So all you have to do, type in AI agent. That's the one we went with, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Let's go ahead and open it. And I renamed it the real estate agent. This one's gonna be powered by OpenAI's 4.0 Mini, and it's trained to sound like a seasoned agent who never forgets their manners. To connect it to that chat model, you can just click here or hover out of the node. Let me show you how to access it. So just click that plus sign, hover down to OpenAI, and then once you open it, it should look something like this. And if you want to learn how to create a credential, I'll link that document down below. So just go ahead and check that out, and I'll walk you through it step by step. And then for the model, you can choose whatever model, but I think 4.0 Mini is enough. We'll go ahead and reconnect that. So if we go back to the node, it's going to read the lead's info, name, desired property, timeline, budget, intent, and craft an email trying to win them over. And this is the user prompt. And this is where you're just going to feed your leads information from that Airtable. So we're going to execute the previous node so I can give you an example. So after we executed, meaning our doorbell trigger was activated, and I'll show you what happened. This one right here was activated, pulling in all our lead information from that Airtable, this Airtable. Information got pulled. Now it's being fed to our AI agent, and by default our source prompt right here will be connected to track trigger node. Select define below, and that's how you're going to be able to put in your custom prompt. Make sure you select expression. You don't want to fix, because I'll put the information as is. You want it as an expression, especially since we're going to drag some JSON. So this is where you're going to be dragging your name, timeline, whatever, and we'll show you how to do it as an example. For the name, we're going to go to our doorbell previously executed trigger and drag this over. And you're going to do that for each one: timeline, desired property, description, budget, intent, whatever. The next thing you want to do is add your system prompt. Again, we also want to select expression, and you click this to enlarge it so you can see a little bit better. This is my prompt, but basically you can say anything you want. You can say, you're Kevin, you're the best realtor in Southern California. Make them want to book a call, and don't sound like a robot, even though you technically are. But if you want to use my prompt as a foundation that you can like edit, and obviously when you start testing, you're gonna have to reiterate this. I'll leave it in this description below as well. Before we move on, I do need to talk about some boring details, because we need to add a structured output parser so we can have a format that we can actually work with. So if we leave our agent node, you can see we have this output parser that it's connected to. I'm going to delete it so you know what I mean. So I'm going to deselect this, so we're not using an output parser, and we're going to run it. As you can see, it has a subject, it has a body, but it's all clumped up together. We want it separated. We want to make sure this requires specific output format selected, and now we're going to connect it to our output parser. And you can do that by just hitting the plus sign and select this right here. I'm going to reconnect it. I know this is code, but we're not going to write this. I basically went into ChatGPT and asked, I am using an AI agent for my workflow. I want a structured output parser in both email and subjects with a description. Now I've just run it again with the structured output parser. Now we have the email and the subject separated. This is what it gave me. So go ahead and copy that and paste it right here. So next we're going to add our closed deal node. Exit out of this, so it's going to be this guy right here. This guy is going to act as AI's memory. And all you're going to do to add it is hit the plus sign, type in Airtable, select that one right there. I'm going to open it up. Again, I'll show you how to get your credentials down below. So what we want this node to do is fetch information from a specific base and table in our Airtable document. So this is our Airtable. And the base that we want is the test contacts base. For the table, we want the projects table. It's the only one, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find. To do that, for the tool description, we want to set automatically. For our resource, set it to record. Operation, set it to search. From our base, we're going to choose from list. and we're gonna look for test contacts for our table, which is gonna be projects for us. So we're gonna select that. And we want to return all the information. So I selected return all. Now, whenever we get a lead, our agent will now access our previous deals to look for something similar and say, hey, we did something like that before. Here are the numbers. Here's what we did. And that's just going to boost the credibility. Next, we're going to use the edit node. Hit the plus sign, edit this guy right here. Basically a make it pretty node. For our mode, I like to use manual mapping because I don't know code. And what I did here is just drag and drop. You can just drop it right here. You have the same with the subject, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to delete this one since this is a duplicate test step. So it grabs the email content subject line from the AI and puts it into clean fields. That way we can actually use them later on when sending, because no one likes unorganized data. Now comes the cool part, the Gmail node, this guy. So to add him, hit the plus sign, type Gmail, hit Gmail, choose send message. So let's open this up, connect your account. How to do this, check out that link in the description below. We're gonna set that resource to message. For our operation, we're gonna set it to send and wait for response. Basically waiting for you to respond before moving forward. So the email that we put here is the email that we want this Gmail node to send the draft to, and where they can revise with free text or just say, hey, it's good to go. For the subject line, I just said action required, new lead, and I dragged and dropped the name from the Airtable node, dragged it right here. Then I said with a budget of, and then I went ahead and dragged this budget. Okay, so you just drag it in like that, and the output will look like this. Then we're gonna exit, and we're gonna go to our message prompt. And I basically said, hey, More Money Kevin, we have a new lead, and we wanna reach out to them. Please provide feedback on the following email. And I basically dragged the email from our Make It Pretty node right in here. And this is our output, that's our email. Exit out of this. For our response type, you can choose approval, which is like a yes or no, but we're gonna go with free text so we can have more customizable abilities. Let me show you what I mean. So we're gonna test this step. All right, so it's now waiting for our response. I'm now gonna go to my Gmail, refresh it, and it's right there. Hey, My Money Kevin, yada, yada, yada. Here's the email, and then we can respond right in the email. We'll go ahead and do that, and I'll say, let's make this shorter. Submit it, head back to n8n, and now you can see the output, and here's our message. But I didn't build that last step just to waste your time. We gotta have the AI do something with it now. The next thing we need is a text classifier. Head out. I renamed mine to analyze and respond. To add it, just hit the plus sign, text classifier, this guy. Just select that, connect it to the workflow. It's what it's gonna look like here. But before we go through all those details, we have to connect it to a chat model. And I just connected to the same OpenAI chat model that's using the 4.0 mini. And we basically want this node to decide whether or not the message was approved or needs a little bit of work. Open it up. The text you want to classify will be as an expression. We're going to drag in our human feedback response right over here like that. We're going to create a category and label it approved. And our second category, we're going to label it declined. And if you want to add categories, just hit add category. For the prompt, this is what I put. Basically, the email will be reviewed and accepted as is. The human explicitly or implicitly expresses approval, indicating that no changes are needed. And then some examples of some keywords to look out for. I did the same kind of thing for the declined one. The email has been reviewed, but the human requests modifications before it's sent. This could include suggested edits, tweaks, removing parts, rewording, or major revisions. Examples here. After testing this node, it was able to recognize that the email was not approved and went down the decline branch. So when you click this, you can see now in the decline branch, and I'll show you in the workflow as well. So one item went down this decline branch and will feed into our next AI agent node, which I renamed revision agent. To add that, type in AI agent. We're using this guy again. For our revision agent, the chat model we're using, same guy, same one, OpenAI chat model 4.0 mini. This AI agent will also be connected to this structured output parser. Remember to select this so you have that option. For our source for prompt, we're gonna select define below, select expression here. For the prompt, I put here's the email to revise, and I dragged this email from the Make It Pretty node into here. And then I said, here's the human feedback. Then I dragged the text from the human feedback node right in here. Let's get out of this. And then we're gonna add a system prompt. So to do that, I'm gonna show you how to add that. Let's delete this. You're gonna select add option and select system prompt. Hit expression again. This will be the default. Go ahead and paste that. I forgot to mention this step earlier. We're gonna do the same thing when adding the system prompt for this real estate agent right here. So to add this system prompt, we're gonna do that same step. So let's go ahead and test this step. We now have a revised version, and we looped it back all the way to our Make It Pretty node. And we'll wait and see if it passes the vibe check, it's gonna get approved. If not, we'll do another feedback. All right, so now let's see if it actually made it shorter. We're gonna go in our emails. This is the original one. It's kind of long, right? And this is a new one. So it is shorter. It did its job. So we're gonna say that looks good. Submit. All right, so you see it went through our approved branch and into our Gmail node. And this is just a simple Gmail node. So just, Gmail, send message, this guy. All right, let's open this guy up. Connect your account. For our resource, it's going to be message. For our operation, it's going to be send. Who we're going to send it to. Let's go back to our Airtable and just drop in your lead's email. Just like that. For the subject, go back to your make it pretty node because it'll be our most recent subject. And for the message, we want to drop in that revised version right there. Boom. Test step, send it out, good to go. So lead comes in, AI writes the email, sends it to you for approval, then rewrites it if it needs to. If it's good to go, the email is sent. And all this could be happening while you're out playing golf. You get an email, you get a lead coming in, add some tweaks or some remarks, and all that happened in less than 5 minutes. And that's a wrap. Check out my channel and subscribe if you want more AI hacks, and I'll catch you in the next build.